you're not getting your full value of what you're setting out to do. If you're really putting in the effort to do this, then take it seriously and be a part of the effort. That's your responsibility in this moment. That's the importance of you stepping into this moment and saying, I'm going to listen.
So what do you do when your product partners or whoever say, you just go do the research, I'm really busy, just come back and give me the results?
We tell them we can do that. We always can. However, we don't advocate for it, and this is why. For those reasons that I just said, it is important for them to be there. It's important for them to listen. It's important for them to learn and be able to accurately leverage and extract those stories when they need to be extracted, but in a way that is socially responsible. Like socializing that data also has to be responsible. You can't add your own bias. You can't add that guy didn't know what he was talking about, so just forget about that, because people tend to do that so often. Oh, did you remember the weird guy who was like, that's how they start to describe the participants. So we will caution them on that, because that's the language that will circulate then. So much of the work that we do, Jen, is so much more than getting the answer to the question. It's educating the team. It's inspiring the team. It's making sure that the team has checks and balances to stay very grounded and honest to the people that we actually are designing for, and for those that we have yet to design for as well. So we are very clear upfront saying, if you're not there, when we leave, a lot of those stories leave with us then, which is unfortunate, and you don't want that. And I have to be honest with you, I think this is probably the benefit of being external to organizations. When they bring us in, we often have a lot more involvement. We often have people say, well, we're definitely going to be there with you because you're doing the work. And clearly, obviously, they're paying us for the work, so they want to make sure that it's being done properly. So very rarely do we have people say, just run away. Or if they do, then we have a chat about it, or we find other ways, because we're not also dogmatic. We're like, you have to be there. We can also, if it's a recording, listen to the recording, join us back when it's time, so that you can actually be ready. So we might not have those in-between session debriefs, but they can still join us for the raw data workshop.
Yeah, I know I've struggled through many years of just the show up and throw up. You go do the research, I'll go to sessions, I'll do the debrief, but I've always done the analysis by myself. So I've been hearing more either group synthesis, analysis, and group recommendation building, and not the researcher coming with recommendations.
Absolutely. Because it's also really exhausting. You do this work. Research is exhausting work. Any aspect of research, any of the activities that you do, it consumes a lot of your mental power. If you are now tasked with looking at all this data, you are again back to wanting more diversity in the field. You're then literally focused on your way of doing things. If it was just me, I'm going to do it the same way. And all I need is for my colleague Zarla to jump in and be like, I didn't look at it that way. And she'll come up with a brilliant, oh my God, nobody does analysis as beautifully as Zarla does. But literally, she'll come up with something. I'll be like, walk me through this. I didn't think of it. And that's just the two of us. Then we have our clients who will be like, it's really interesting. We were talking about this yesterday and I brought up this framework that we've used before, blah, blah, blah. Now they have knowledge that they can pull from the company because this is all they live and breathe. So when they bring that additional, it brings even more meaning to the data. That becomes even more exciting then. So you realize that the power is for all of us to come together and to actually look at that data, because you can make so much more sense of it. Again, it cannot be a free-for-all. It has to be highly facilitated. This is where you want to do it with somebody who's done it often enough and is comfortable in doing that. And there will be uncomfortable moments. Like a lot of times when I think of either the people that I've interacted with or the students in class, a very common question is, what do I do if I don't have the answer to something? Great, good for you. There's nothing to be nervous about. If somebody goes, Meena, did we get this question answered? I don't really think we did. It's not a failure of any sort. It means that now we know that question has to be answered because of this discussion we're having. So it's always placing it in terms of it's a journey. The journey is what's really important. It's actually not even the destination, to be honest with you. It's the adventure along the way. That's what we need to really unpack and understand. And that's where, like I said, the magic happens. It always does.
Yeah, I know. I feel that magic feeling when I'm in these interviews and I'm like, oh, wow, I can't believe that was said. That's totally awesome. Never thought about that. And I feel lonely sometimes that other people didn't hear that as well.
Yeah. So we will not do research in a way that is just like the two of us. To us, that starts to actually devalue. You're not getting your full value of what you're setting out to do. If you're really putting in the effort to do this, then take it seriously and be a part of the effort. That's your responsibility in this moment. That's the importance of you stepping into this moment and saying, I'm going to listen. And we might, like I said, there's always ways. You can always hear the recording, or it might be a proxy, but proxies are not good either, because then I'm getting Jen's version of a session or Meena's version of it. And that's not what you want. You want everybody to think for themselves. Again, back to the reason why that we all have stuff behind us that forms the way we look things forward.
For sure.